Y'all broke like me? Good. Today, inflation cooking. In the States, we all know that everything costs way more than it should, and we all broke. So let's figure out how to make some meals for minimal money. First up, inflation stew.
Welcome back to the Wolf Pit.
I hope this isn't horrendous.
Another episode of Eating on a Budget. As we're all witnessing, inflation is real.
Inflation is real. You know what else is real? This story. Let's keep it moving. Here we go. Okay.
Saute the onions for a few minutes until they begin to sweat.
So we are cooking up some onions in some oil, and this doesn't look horrific. What is that, tomato paste? Okay, tomato paste in. Hit it with the onions. Eventually, it'll disintegrate. Hit it with some garlic. Mix that bitch around. What's this?
And then add 1 quart of beef broth.
Beef broth, okay, also cheap. Now, I think maybe he either said it at the beginning or I'll say it at the end, how much this costs to make. But so far, this is not looking horrendous. Usually when you hear shit about like inflation cooking,
Followed by 1 quart of water.
Okay, so it's just water. Usually when you hear about inflation cooking, it's like some horrendous, horrific, oh my God, who would eat that type shit? And I'm hoping this isn't that. Because if this is fire, this might be what I'm eating, okay? Because I'm for serious when I say we broke as hell out here. Okay, so we're just mixing it up. Not too much shit popping.
Of stewed tomatoes. I like stewed tomatoes because they're nice and sweet and they're delicious. If you don't like stewed tomatoes, you can get the whole peeled plum tomatoes or crushed tomatoes or tomato sauce.
See, now here's the thing about cheap meals
that a good mix and bring it up to a boil.
That I feel like people forget about, right? You could have a cheap meal if you mix together ingredients that make sense to go together. Okay, our girl Kay's cooking. God bless her soul. Loves to make shit that does not belong together. This doesn't look like that, and I like that. Okay, so let's keep it moving. Salt and pepper, cabbage. Yeah, see, this I can get
fried
behind.
Lentils that have been rinsed and drained.
Lentils are cheap. I thought those were pistachios. I was like, bro, aren't pistachios basically the most expensive nut? Maybe the second most expensive. Take it easy. Keep it moving.
Normally, ground beef would go in cabbage rolls or cabbage roll soup, but ground beef is expensive, and we're trying to eat on an inflation-based budget. So lentils are a very good, delicious, and healthy protein substitute.
Right. Okay, so we really are taking the inflation thing to the next level with this, too. And again, I'm not kidding when I say I appreciate that. So mix that up. Keep it at a boil. Cabbage usually takes quite a while to cook, I think, because it's pretty,
Or if you don't even want to measure, it's a 1-pound bag of rice.
Right, okay, and then some rice. Yeah, cabbage is like one of those things that you have to cook for like a long time. Lentils, too. Honestly, both.
Now mix in the rice, replace the lid, and let it cook for another 10 minutes.
Yeah, see, another 10 minutes. Lord knows how long it's been cooking before this. And I'm not going to lie, it looks kind of horrible. But I bet it would taste good. Because again, even though it looks trash, the ingredients can go together. Let me see what the price on this is. It might have actually said it on the thumbnail. It didn't. But it's gotta be cheap. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just not that dedicated to figuring out how much it costs per serving. But this one is nice and easy. Feed 8 people for $8. Again, looks fire. This is a family meal, okay? This is some shit we could make.
Eating on a budget.
Eating on a broke boy budget. Is this
followed by some roughly chopped garlic.
I'm pretty sure that was in slow-mo. Now, he's got the garlic going in early.
Saute the garlic for a couple minutes until it becomes aromatic.
And I think this might go against the Gordon Ramsay approved tip, which
then
says
add a 28-ounce can.
Oh, well, maybe not actually,
tomatoes.
because he cut it right away. If you saute garlic for too long, it gets bitter. Okay,
Followed
that's
by
straight
a
from Gordon.
29-ounce can.
Not from
tomato sauce.
Okay, if I'm ever giving you all tips on stuff and it comes from me, you should be wary. Okay, but that was from Gordon, so that's legit. Got some thyme, got some tomato sauce, got some garlic. Okay, what is this?
1 pound of cubed up chicken.
Right,
and you
chicken.
can use white meat chicken or dark meat chicken. And I actually use chicken breast for this recipe, which I normally don't do, simply because I'm not a fan of chicken breast.
Chicken breast
But
is
that's
dry
what we
as
had
shit.
at the time, so that's what I used.
That's what you gotta
Dark
do.
meat chicken is always going to have more flavor, more moisture, more fat, and it's inexpensive. So that's a winner chicken dinner.
How does that work, actually, come to think of it? If chicken thighs and like dark meat chicken is better in almost every way, how could it be cheaper? Bizarre. I don't know, bro. I mean, but it is true. Like, I'm not disputing all of the claims that he just said, but it is cheaper, generally speaking, and it is better. I guess maybe just because it's dark meat and like people like white meat. I don't know.
I already know that Scooter's gonna have something smart to say.
Who?
You could have browned the chicken to add more flavor.
Are these people in the comment section he's doing?
Well, Scooter, you're actually right this time. But this is supposed to be a quick weeknight budget meal.
Now, I don't necessarily know that I'm agreeing with the conflation. See how I use the word inflation? Damn. Okay, sorry. That he just did there, right? Like a budget meal doesn't have to be quick. I want it to be cheap, but it doesn't have to be quick. Okay, I'm okay with browning a little chicken if I'm saving $1 bajillion. Let's keep moving. We're still looking at the chicken. Okay, and then we hit it with some noodles. And then cream cheese. Now, wait a minute. This just went to another level. Let me.
So if you, the people, are gonna say cream cheese is a weird thing to add to a tomato sauce. I thought the same thing, but I wanted to try it anyway.
No, I don't think it is.
So I mixed it in with the pasta and the sauce until it was all nice and creamy. And I filled up a bowl and just garnished with a little bit of Parmesan cheese and parsley.
Looks incredible. Look at that shit.
Proves two things that I always say. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. And if you don't have a specific ingredient, use what you have on hand.
No, absolutely not. I'm sorry, my man. I'm with you on the dish. The dish slaps. No, listen to this again.
And if you don't have a specific ingredient, use what you have on hand.
Incorrect. Take it out or figure out a good, realistic substitute. You say shit like that, and our girl Kay is going to be adding in bacon and like mayo and all kinds of other bullshit that does not belong in a recipe. So you can't be saying that, bro. People out here be not paying attention and shit. They be mixing all kinds of bullshit that can't get mixed. You can't be like, oh, substitute whatever you want. No. Follow the recipe or get the fuck out. Otherwise, your shit gonna kill somebody, and that's for serious. What is that? That looks horrific. I don't know what that is, but that's not on the... We're making an inflation video. We're making a video about inflation, okay? Without actually talking about inflation or what inflation is. If you don't know what inflation is, Google it. One more. What is this one? Hoover Stew. This one feeds 8 people for $3.79. This is even cheaper than the 8 for 8, bro. We just did an 8 for 8. This is a $3.79. It's $3.74 for 8. That's huge. This guy gonna save my bank account, and I want to give him a shout out. So shout out to the Wolf Pit. Okay, big fan. All of these meals are actually look good. They actually look quality. And that is rare out here in the streets of YouTube. I can tell you that for certain. Okay, I really don't need the history lesson though, on God. I just want to see what you're cooking. Okay, here we go.
So let's get started with a large pot of boiling salted water.
Okay, great value. Great value. By the way, pro tip, any of you bougie shoppers out there, stop buying the name brand bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for all that. You don't need it. The damn noodles taste the same, whether they were made from great value or craft. Stop getting bamboozled by the cheap shit, on God. Save yourself some money.
Then give it a good mix and cook for half the time the directions say on the box.
Half the time.
Now in the last video I did, someone left a comment to not stir the noodles and that they'll naturally separate, which is correct. But I replied to them, what does it hurt to stir? I didn't receive a reply back. And I wasn't trying to disagree with them, I just wanted to know what stirring hurt. What say you, the people? Am I missing something about stirring noodles?
I don't know. I don't really know about
After the elbow macaroni is cooked about 50%,
stirring noodles and why it would affect the outcome.
Water and do not rinse, and then set aside.
Yeah, so you don't want to rinse. This is another Gordon Ramsay approved tip, okay? You don't want to rinse it because you want to keep the starch on the noodles. Thank me later. It makes the sauce stick better. Okay, come on. Y'all think I don't know what I'm talking about?
Add 2 15-ounce cans of diced tomatoes. Just for a little bit of extra flavor, I got the Italian-style tomatoes that had basil, garlic, and oregano in them.
What's the price on that?
92
kind
of canned tomatoes you like. I think
God
stewed
bless.
Tomatoes will be my next option. I love stewed tomatoes. And
he does love stewed tomatoes. We saw that in the last video.
Eat a whole can right out of the can. Do you, the people, like stewed tomatoes?
We got to keep this moving.
The juice.
Okay, so now we got the corn. We got the tomato base. We got
now you'll notice
some... Whoa, what the... Does he say that word?
What's can of cannellini beans with the juice.
Cannellini beans? I don't think I've ever had cannellini beans, but what I will tell y'all is I'm a bean fiend. Okay, I love me some beans. Red kidneys, pinto, black beans. Woo! I don't know what these are, but I bet they slap. Big bean fan, big bean fan.
We're not draining any of the vegetables.
Correct.
The juices in the can of vegetables is what's going to make the broth.
Packed with flavor.
Now, if you happen to have a bouillon cube laying around, it sure wouldn't hurt to toss it in for a little bit of extra flavor.
Okay. So now we're mixing
Another
it in.
good mix.
And then we hit it with the...
Then we added the half-cooked elbow macaroni and gave it another good mix.
See, that's key. The half-cooked, because otherwise you would overcook it and it'd be mushy. That's why he only said cook it half. My boy popping off. Now, this almost looks like goulash, right? Like, it's got goulash-type vibes, but not quite. There's not a lot of protein in this just yet, so I wonder... Actually, do beans have protein?
Last but not least, add 8 cut-up hot dogs.
Okay. Now...
And then, of course, give it another good mix.
Okay.
I just cut up the hot dogs right out of the package. But if you're not lazy like I am, you could have also pan-fried them or grilled them for a little bit more flavor.
Yeah, see, so it seems like that pan-frying extra step is really something he's not getting behind, okay? Which is fine. I mean, it's a one-pot wonder. That's what he's got going, and that's that shit you be seeing on, like, Twitter and TikTok all the time. Get this one-pot recipe! I get it, okay? And for the clickbait, that slaps. But if you're making this, yo, slap that bitch, slap a little oil in a pan, fry them bitches up, and, you know, toss them around a little bit before you put them in.
Back to the hot dogs for a second.
Pro
tip.
tip.
I don't know if this is still a thing or not, and if kids still do it or adults do it. But when I was a kid, we'd open up the fridge, pull a hot dog right out of the package, and eat it like that. Does anybody still do that? Or do you remember doing it as a kid?
Yikes. I like cooked hot dogs, okay? And I do like the all beef, not like, you know, chicken beak hot dogs and shit. I don't think that's what these are, and I definitely don't think I'd be eating that shit cold out of the fridge. That seems a little whack. I don't know if you can catch me co-signing that. Cooked hot dogs with the proper toppings, all beef, kind of bougie. But, bro, I'm not eating no chicken beef. And I definitely don't want no chicken gizzard, no chicken booty hole, none of that shit, bro. And definitely not cold. Cook them bitches. I loved them
back then, but now the thought of putting a cold, slimy hot dog in my mouth and eating it almost makes me want to gag.
Oh, so he came full circle. Damn, not me talking shit before he saves himself with the Reformation.
But then again, I'm not a huge hot dog fan anymore.
Oh, so he's had a change of heart on the hot dog game.
It looked like it needed more water. So
probably because he found out how they make it. He watched the episode of How It's Made and saw him grind up a whole goddamn chicken carcass and was like, wait, they weren't kidding about that shit. They weren't. All beef. Down.
The recipe didn't call for any seasonings, but I did add a little bit
of salt. The recipe? Wait, this is not is this a recipe?
Pepper.
I thought this was just some shit he fabricated in his garage. Hoover stew. Oh no, look, of the Great Depression. Maybe if we would have watched the history lesson at the beginning, I would have understood. This is a real recipe. Hoover stew of the Great Depression. Oh, so this is authentic Americana,
now
bro.
Up to a simmer and let it simmer for 5 to 7 minutes until the elbow macaroni is tender and the Hoover stew is heated through.
Right, okay.
While the Hoover stew was simmering, I decided to add just a little bit of granulated garlic and granulated onion.
That's like the best flavor booster you can add to any meal, by the way.
I basically followed the standard Hoover stew recipe, except for the Italian-style tomatoes and the seasonings.
Okay.
But you can add anything else you like, or omit anything you don't like.
Now, here's what I will say about this one. It looks a little watery for my taste. There's not really anything sticking to the noodles. Those noodles are about to be bland as a motherfucker, cold-blooded for serious. But maybe now that he's added in the garlic powder and the salt and some of that pepper, it'll save it. But dude, plain noodles are kind of whack. I can't lie. The other two I was on board for, and the hot dogs. You
can use different types of beans, different pasta,
different
vegetables, more seasonings, etc. And you can even use leftover meat or vegetables you have.
Like, it's just plain noodles, basically.
And what you have on hand.
I understand they're stewing in, like, this tomato sauce.
The people.
But it doesn't really stick. It just doesn't really stick. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't stick, that means you ain't tasted it. And if you ain't tasted it, then it's bland-ass noodles.
Already have a bunch of these ingredients.
Sure do. Okay, let me get a taste test.
47 cents a person.
47 cents a person. That's cold-blooded.
While I was making this Hoover stew, it was in no way visually appealing to me.
No.
It looked like a pot.
Those hot dogs look gnarly, bro. You need to saute them up. This looked like some shit you get served in like 8th grade lunch. And it's like, oh my God, they really just threw everything together and served this to us. We gotta die. That's what I be saying.
Bland food. However, once I took a bite, I was very pleasantly surprised.
Real
It actually had some flavor, and I was enjoying it.
Maybe you got everything though, but like, what if you just going for a noodle? You tossed. That's just a straight noodle. Nothing else. Tossed.
It was delicious, considering the ingredients used.
Yeah, see that little asterisk, the considering the ingredients used, that's how you know it was whack. Okay, listen, I was definitely for the first 2 recipes. Okay, I was definitely for the first 2 recipes. The last one, I don't really know about that one. What I will say, Flight Team, when you just cut that part where I start talking about leaving, because otherwise people click off the video and they're not allowed to do that, okay? Just cut it!
Hope y'all enjoyed this inflation cooking video.
He's actually got another one here. Wait a minute. Okay, one more. Stop. Sit your ass back down. We ain't done. I got one more. 78 cents. This one might slap. Oh, a little andouille, bro.
Sausage or meat you like.
Now tell me what meat's better than hot links. Stop. You can't. Hot links slap.
Meat would be perfect for this dish.
Hot links would be perfect, bro.
And if you use leftover meat, it would also make this meal cheaper because you wouldn't have to buy the sausage.
I'm pretending those are hot links because hot links are so good. Hot links are so good, okay? What's next? See, wait a minute. I just realized he's actually frying the meat. Now just look at how much more visually appealing that is. Just imagine the caramelization on that damn sausage link. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my fucking butter, Batman. Oh.
Now I know it looks like a greasy mess right now, but stick with me here.
Oh,
Continue cooking until the butter
I'm going to, Bo, but you just took this thing to Heart Attack Nation. Like, just by that, like, the sausage itself has oil. He started with oil, and then he added in half a brick of butter. This, I mean, it'd be tasty. I'm not saying that. It just might also kill you.
Then add 3 cups of water.
Yeah, okay. So he says, I know something, so let me
I know. The liquid in the pan looks like leftover bath water after a wild night with a local lot lizard in the no-tell motel.
Not a lot lizard.
Sure how I even know what the bath water in a no-tell motel looks like after a wild night with a lot lizard. I guess it's just my sick imagination.
Gotta be.
To make it look even worse, add 1 cup of milk.
17 cents? Oh, right. I was like, you ain't buying a gallon of milk for 17 cents? But he ran the math to figure out how much of the milk would correlate to that price. You know what I mean. Stop typing.
Gratin potatoes.
What is that? Oh,
Next,
potatoes?
We added 2 of the cheese packets from the boxed au gratin potatoes.
Oh, okay. So he's got the potato, or he's got the cheese mix from the potatoes, but minus the potatoes.
Give all that a good mix.
Okay, but there are potatoes in this recipe, right? This is
and then bring it up to a boil.
Meat and potatoes, 78 cents. Yeah, okay. This might slap. Let's keep it moving. There go the potatoes.
I love the boxed au gratin potatoes, and we eat them more than we should.
Okay, so those look like potato chips.
I have to grab a chip or 2 to snack on while they're cooking.
Honestly, they literally look like chips.
They're not very good, but it's just something I feel I have to do.
Can you
give everything a
substitute normal potato chips? That might be whack. Let me take it easy.
And bring back up to a boil. I think the salt in the smoked sausage and the processed cheese would be more than sufficient.
Yo,
but
that looks good. Okay, now he's adding in the seasoning, so we must be getting close to the end. This looks fire. And a little bit of broccoli? No way with the veggies. Okay. Now, y'all know you need your veggies even if you're eating on an inflation budget.
Rich and creamy with a subtle smokiness from the sausage. And
that
crazy delicious and comforting, even with a simple moderate serving.
I believe that. I honest to God do believe that. See, look at just look at the difference it made by frying up the meat. Like, it is night and day. I mean, look at that. Come on. Now it's got the crispy, caramelized flavor. That looks incredible. That looks incredible. I'm glad we watched this one because that last one was a little whack. This one looks fire as fuck. Listen, y'all, that's it for the inflation cooking episode. The economy is whack. Prices are whack. And everything's too goddamn high. So you might as well go ahead and drop me a like and make my like ratio to dislike ratio also too goddamn high. That was a stretch. I know. Suggest some shit to watch down below. See y'all later. Goodbye.